March 8, 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. A routine flight with 239 souls, but a history-defining mystery. At 1:21 a.m., the aircraft's Mode S transponder, its voice to the world, was shut down. This device, essential for identifying the plane to Civilian Air Traffic Control, ATC, was manually deactivated. There was no distress call, no system warning, just calculated silence. 7 minutes later, the aircraft's Aircraft Communications Addressing and Reporting System, ACARS, which sends crucial diagnostic messages back to the airline, was also manually switched off. This was not a power failure. It was a deliberate, sequenced action. But the silence was a trick. The plane was still flying, detected by military radar as it made a sharp turn west, flying back over Malaysia. This military radar, designed to spot threats, was focused on hostile targets, not civilian airliners. The operators saw the anomaly, but due to protocol and cross-agency failure, the signal was never escalated in time. The plane became a ghost in the sky, leaving the known flight path and entering the vast, empty digital and physical space of the southern Indian Ocean. The failure wasn't just losing the plane. The failure was that the systems designed to find it were designed to be silenced. When the transponder died, the world went blind, but a single faint heartbeat remained: the satellite communications system. This system, primarily used for cockpit voice and data, was still operational. It didn't send GPS coordinates. Instead, it sent tiny automatic diagnostic bursts, or handshakes, to a British Inmarsat satellite. This handshake was only to confirm the system was still powered on. The Inmarsat team performed an incredible feat of forensic data analysis. They analyzed two key factors within these handshakes: burst timing offset, which measured the distance between the plane and the satellite based on the time it took for the signal to travel, narrowing the location down to a series of arcs, and burst frequency offset, which measured the rate of speed and direction of the aircraft using the Doppler effect. This helped narrow the BTO arcs down to the most probable flight path. The data indicated the plane flew for roughly 7 hours after the last human contact, following a final, devastating path toward the 7th arc. Thousands of miles from civilization, deep in the southern Indian Ocean. This was the only truly reliable piece of evidence, yet it was data never meant for navigation. The search effort that followed became the most expensive in history, but it was doomed by 3 critical logistical failures. First, the data blackout. Crucial military radar data held by multiple Southeast Asian nations could have narrowed the initial search area dramatically. However, due to complex political concerns and national security paranoia, this raw data was either withheld or slow-walked for weeks. By the time it was integrated, the calculated final location was already based on ambiguous SATCOM data, not hard radar fixes. Second, the ambiguous target. The search focused on the 7th arc, but the margin of error in the BFO analysis was enormous. The area of highest probability was defined by a massive twisting underwater mountain range, the Broken Ridge. This terrain presented an impossible challenge for sonar and autonomous underwater vehicles. Third, the depth and terrain. The search teams were dealing with water depths exceeding 20,000 feet. The search technology, primarily deep-towed sonar, could only cover a narrow swath, like mowing a football field with a garden trimmer in an area the size of California. Every minute detail had to be mapped and examined. The official search failed not due to lack of effort, but because the initial, most accurate tracking data, the military radar, was locked behind political red tape. The search ended officially in 2017, concluding that over 120,000 square kilometers of the most probable area had been covered. Subsequent private searches, guided by refined drift analysis of the few pieces of debris that washed ashore, have also failed. The few pieces of debris that have been found, flaperons, stabilizers, thousands of miles away in Africa and on Indian Ocean islands, only confirm the plane went down in the remote south. The real reason the plane was never found is a testament to the fatal combination of human intent, the deliberate act of silencing the transponder in ACARS, systemic failure, the inability of global military and civilian agencies to share real-time actionable radar data due to deep-seated mistrust, and technological limitation, The overwhelming size and unforgiving pressure of the deep ocean, coupled with a search guided only by the faint, indirect echoes of a digital handshake. The tragedy of MH370 remains the ultimate reminder that in the face of human intent and political obstruction, even the most sophisticated global tracking systems can be rendered blind. The southern Indian Ocean remains the silent keeper of modern aviation's greatest, most devastating secret.